Leg in. Slam it. In 20 minutes, we went up the Connecticut shoreline, crossed over to the Hamptons, and came right back to West Harrison again. These days, back-to-school supplies aren't just about pencils, paper, and notepads. A proposal developers insist will turn this Long Island landmark into a hustling, bustling center once again. What the union does next is it takes those hundreds of applications and it conducts a raffle. It took 2 years of planning before this ground was finally broken. They hope this is the giant step forward.
I've always had a desire to fly, and I've always loved the ability to do something that it seems only a few people can.
19-year-old Neil Hirschman earned his pilot's license at Performance Flight in West Harrison a year ago. Now he's racking up the hours in the air and the simulator.
Here at Performance Flight, we're a boutique operation. We serve a very high-end clientele. We're very, very good at what we do. We also are flying the Cirrus aircraft. It is the most advanced, it's the safest, fastest, most comfortable, luxurious of its type.
We got a taste of that luxury when Performance Flight owner Louis Liebert led the Fios One news crew on the Series SR-22 GTS for a flight lesson with pilot Mark Bennett. Slam it.
Perfect. Now what do you do some flying?
Okay. Valued at $700,000, the five-seater is the Rolls-Royce of light sport aircrafts.
It's a 180-knot airplane, which is approximately 200 miles per hour over the ground. It can, cover great distances in very short periods of time.
Within minutes, we were flying over Norwalk and then New Haven. It feels like you barely touch it and it turns.
It's like a sports car.
A sports car with panoramic views as far as the eye can see.
Now we're going down, we're going down, we're going down. Now hit that button again.
In 20 minutes, we went up the Connecticut shoreline, crossed over to the Hamptons, and came right back to West Harrison again. Outside the Performance Flight office is a parking lot full of Cirrus aircrafts. But parking fees in this lot are not for the lighthearted. Hangar fees start at $1,200 monthly and outdoor spots $350. Liebert tells us the cost of earning your license depends on the school you choose and the type of plane used. If you plan on learning in one of these, expect to pay about $30,000.
Most people are going to go through about 60 to 70 flight hours.
It's hard work, but you're pushing yourself to do it because the ultimate goal is really satisfying.
They say part of the satisfaction comes in knowing that as a pilot you can fly just about anywhere you please, as long as you touch base with air traffic control. In West Harrison, Hanan Kamal, Fios One News.
You feel like disbelief.
I just paused because it was so devastating. We canoed to the front door.
Val Mangelli, Katie Byrne, and Helen Ober, friends and residents of 16th Street in Bayville. They were left in shock after Sandy devastated their North Shore neighborhood.
Our block, it's underwater. Oh, man.
My husband came back early in the morning, and he said, just come in with your boots and we'll canoe home. I'm not used to it ever taking, but it was the first time I had to sit there and say, I don't even have a sheet, I don't have a coat, I don't have a pair of shoes for my kids.
Their home is a village of 7,000 people, less than 1.5 square miles, and virtually surrounded by water. Several of the neighbors captured what they experienced during the storm in online videos and images.
And that's the seawall. That's where our beach should be. Days like this, I'm glad I have a...
Devising storm mitigation plans was a straightforward task for most Long Island communities, not for Bayville, a village cynics call a glorified sand dune. There is still no firm project on the table to guard against future storms, but there are some ideas. A U.S. Army Corps of Engineers study has called on a plan that would basically ring the village with a sheet pile wall encased by a stone and sand berm. But Mayor Douglas Watson says he doesn't believe the entire village needs to be walled in.
We don't have to protect something that's basically grass and wooded area. So we can protect the parts that where the water does come in and affects the people's homes. It'll be money wisely spent. It'll be a smaller project, so it's more likely to get done.
Mayor Watson hopes federal recovery money will turn the ideas into action. Bayville has come a long way in the past year, but the mayor wants to make sure the village never again suffers what happened during Sandy. Homes were flooded and a vital span was knocked out of service. It took almost 7 months to reopen the Bayville Bridge and West Shore Road. In that time, Bayville seafood manager Rick Ballstrom says his firm and neighboring stores lost nearly half of their business.
When the road was out, this end of town became like a ghost town because out of sight, out of mind. People didn't come to this end of town. They drove around the other way.
Another victim of the superstorm was the Bayville Haunted Firehouse. The event has drawn large crowds and raised funds every year since 1990. Organizer and Bayville firefighter Henry Incarnation says they lost everything when water filled the firehouse basement.
You can picture this area down here with about this much, 4 to 5 feet of water.
And he says the money needed to hold the popular event just isn't there.
Minimum, maybe $150,000 to rebuild.
But the people of Bayville say their village is resilient.
One thing about this town, Bayville comes together. We didn't have a lot of outside help. What we did have was inside help.
Even if their village is completely restored, residents say since Sandy, their lives and their outlook will never be the same.
And I'm so specific in taking care of everything. Now I don't care about my brand new wood floors or my children are running around. I'm just like, whatever.
In Bayville, Hanan Kamal, Fios 1 News.
When you look across the street, that retail space has been available for over a year. You can tell that there's a problem here.
New Hyde Park resident Leslie Curry says when an affluent area like Garden City is suffering economically, something must be wrong. Today, a report released by New York State Comptroller Thomas DiNapoli confirmed just that. According to that review, both Long Island counties were among the top 15 of more than 1,000 municipalities in the state considered to be the most fiscally stressed.
The primary reason is that both counties relied too heavily on sales tax, and that's really what put Suffolk more into the position than Nassau.
Economist Martin Cantor says another major contributor is the fact that we are a high-cost region. Despite Long Island being considered one of the wealthiest parts of the country, both Nassau County and Suffolk County are under the weight of tens of millions of dollars of debt that must eventually be paid off. Local shop owners also say doing business here is simply too expensive.
I used to pay in my other places like $2,000 a year insurance. Now it costs $6,000 insurance. The taxes is unbelievable, and the rent is too high.
Garden City shop owner Rami Rabia says he's struggling to stay afloat. Cantor tells us convincing businesses to come to Long Island is a struggle.
We are competing for other cheaper, less expensive places in the country, such as Carolinas, Pennsylvania, where the cost of manufacturing and labor and energy are cheaper.
The report listed Suffolk and the village of Islandia among the areas under significant fiscal stress, while Nassau and Oyster Bay were rated as being under moderate financial stress. In Garden City, Hanan Kamal, Fios 1 News. The District Council of Carpenters in Greenwich Village will be handing out applications for a number of much coveted spots in their union's apprenticeship program. So needless to say, hundreds have been camping out here for days.
I've been here since Monday, and I'm going to miss all these guys because you build a bond.
From lawn chairs to blow-up beds and tents, they're all set up on the sidewalk and they stretch around the entire block, leading to the union's 395 Hudson Street headquarters. What was it like sleeping here yesterday?
Oh, it was rough. I didn't even have anything. And then today my mom came, dropped me off a sleeping bag.
But they tell us it's all worth it.
It's Carpenters Union, and I'm just looking for a great career, so I'm trying to start my life right now. I just turned 21 not too long ago.
I want to start my own family. I don't have any kids yet because I don't have a steady job.
But the union is only giving out a limited number of applications.
They're taking 500 carpenters for basic carpentry, 150 dock workers for building the bridges, and 100 floor and like coverers. So out of it's 750 applications.
What the union does next is it takes those hundreds of applications and it conducts a raffle. Those lucky enough to get chosen actually get an interview for the apprenticeship program. In Greenwich Village, Hanan Kamal.
A few pens, pencils, maybe a few phone cases and accessories, maybe to decorate my locker.
14-year-old Ashka Pina of Almont is about to begin a new school year, so she and her family are busy shopping here at Five Below in Westbury, making sure to stock up on those much-needed school supplies. So too was Elaine Rappaport of Merrick as she helped her grandchildren get ready for another year of elementary school.
They need glue sticks and crayons, and what else did we need? Folders and paper. And markers and tissues.
But these days, back-to-school supplies aren't just about pencils, paper, and notepads. Modern technology means kids may need to purchase items like smartphone cases, chargers, and even iPad accessories. Also here for the brand new school year is a whole new line of technologically driven backpacks featuring specially designed pockets and ports to accommodate today's gadgets and gizmos. But for Aubrey Manfrey of Merrick and her 2 children, there's a certain fashion accessory that's a must-have for the upcoming school year: rubber band bracelets.
It's a new craze. I think it started early in the summer, and now it's really hit everybody's household.
All my friends think that everyone's going to be jealous and asking them if they could have it.
However, for Mom, nothing beats cutting costs.
Well, I mean, everybody likes a good deal. Why wouldn't they come and get something for less?
In Westbury, Hanan Kamal, FiOS 1 News.